This leader is provided to permit the projectionist to complete adjustment of focus and sound level before the film begins.
Mistake. Oh, I hit her? No way! Fucking Tom Brady, baby.
Tommy, did you just do what I think you just did?
Yo, he could just... Oh, there it is! Oh, look at it go. Oh, my goodness, Cena.
Fucking A. Carry on the road.
Oh, it's a double! Oh, I got it! I fucking got it! Let's go! Oh, they needed to be there. One on the count. Oh my goodness! The 10-inch.
Yo! Just jumped the camera out of the shit!
Just precise touches.
Yeah!
I thought I was getting like maybe a 4-pound bag, like something kind of like big, but not too big. The knock happens at my door, okay? I open it and there is an old lady and she's standing there with this.
But like...
it's a 15-pound bag. Now here's a lead to the shot, and it's gonna put it right on time.
You got anything in this Lloyd's backpack here, sir?
Yeah, your mom is going home.
Welcome to the Rocket League Splash Series Division 1. GG's! Let's go! This is the Downshift second minute! This is the move, man. This is it, man. You watch. This is the quality. Should have done that. Uh-oh. It's got good pace. Too fast. Uh-oh. No way. No way. No way. No. Let's go. Let's fucking go. Let's go. Let's go. Dude, no way. Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen.
This leader is provided to permit
Joining
the
me in
projection.
the booth here tonight for the Season 5 Riptide Cup quarterfinals, the one and only MrJuicyBurg. Welcome in, man. Welcome in.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? I'm ready to watch some amazing gameplay. For the first time, I'm casting some Riptide. It feels good to be in the People's Division, for sure.
Zippy, if you stick around at the end, and maybe I'll play it at the end too after the match gets done. I'll run it again. But real quick, man, I bring this page up first. When we're talking about the Riptide Cup, I think something that you need to talk about is the level that these teams have grown and grown over the course of these seasons. And when you talk about Season 5,
I think it's the most competitive. I mean, when you look at the quarterfinals, any of these 8 teams that made it, I think could have seen themselves headed to the grand finals. And if you look at the matchups, 4-3, NVS over High Tide, 4-3, Omega over Evolve Skylight. Both High Tide and Evolve were in the top 5 Power 5. Both getting beat by non-Power 5 teams is nuts. You have Olivet beating Panda, 2 Power 5 teams going toe-to-toe. Again, another 4-3. And now Downshift taking on N2N Nomads. And Nomads were at the cusp. They're one of the closest teams to making the Power 5. And then you got Downshift, who was also a Power 5 team. I mean, talk about a competitive season. This is crazy.
I think it just goes to speak about the growth and the overall development, I think, of RLSS as a whole. I feel like the competition stepped up in basically every single division other than the brand new one, which is Cyclone. We've kind of seen Lotus 8 dominate that one. But other than that, Riptide across the board, all 4 threes so far, other than this series, which is yet to be played out. Surge, I think, is the most competitive I've ever seen it, at least. No offense to season 3.
No offense to the 7-0 perfect season that Skyberg had or anything.
But I feel like the overall competition, though, in season 5 and Surge as well is extremely competitive. You got Team Not Found, Affinity Academy going up against them. You got Cooks, who all hit GC3 within the season. And the 4th team, the Death Cloud Quirksters, who are, in my opinion, somehow a sleeper pick, even though they have the 2nd best record. I feel like everybody's sleeping on them.
Listen,
that Quirkster versus
Tommy
Cook
B
series is going to be crazy.
Huge fan of the Quirks. I think that matchup, I don't think the Kooks. Listen, there's ego at play here, and there's nothing wrong with that. When you're having the season that both of these guys have had, of course you're going to be excited and be pumped for it. But 100%. I mean, to see them going toe-to-toe in the semis is wild.
It's going to be, it's like my one to watch. I got that one circled for sure. That one's going to be really fun to watch. Okay, we got N2N entering the field here. 8:01 showtime. Not too shabby on the boys.
Gray, Hazy, and Clixo. And we can talk about those rosters real quick coming out onto the pitch for the Nomads. We've got Gray, who is not only seen a championship, I believe he fell in the grand finals, but
Hazy has also seen a grand championship.
That is true. Hazy also an OG out there on the pitch here tonight. One of the few still remaining in the league. And Clixo coming out, who takes home the triple-digit 107 demos in 7 weeks. Still ceases to amaze me.
The name speaks for itself for that one, Clixel. Whenever you hear him, you know you're going to see some wreckage, so to speak. And then on the other side...
Oh, go ahead. My fault.
No, you're good. Keysig. Everybody loves Keysig. Everybody here knows Keysig. I know it's hard to play favorites, especially when it comes to mods, but Keysig just might be my favorite. I'm sorry to the rest of the mod gang. He just might be my favorite. You definitely love Keysig solo. Do not lie to me. We have Nook, who has actually been a Surge player in the past, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, him and Keysig both last season.
Yeah, Keysig was also in Surge.
They touched GC, and off principle, they wanted to get pushed up. They joined, I believe they teamed up with Mattias right? Maximus.
Yeah.
Which is huge, and took them to the first round of the playoffs where they got bested. And, and I think it was a good learning lesson for them. And I think we could see him up in Surge again. But I think realistically, it's about consistency. And I think that says a lot about who Downshift are as a team. I think their biggest issue, realistically, for both teams we're seeing out here on the pitch tonight, because both of their seeding could have been much, much better coming out if we're talking about consistency. And they both, their peak game, if they bring their A game, this is going game 7 OT without a shadow of a doubt with like a 15-minute OT.
100%.
Either one of these teams don't bring their A game, I think that's where things could get out of hand. It's going to be about putting your hand in the face of these shooters, challenging these passing lanes, and probably respecting the aggression that could take place.
100%. And as for their third Benby, he's popped up in my chat a couple times, but I have never actually seen Benby's game. He's going to be a complete surprise to me. If you have anything to say about Benby, let me hear it.
I'll tell you that I know Keesig has given Nook the Cook and Batman Benby some nicknames for a reason.
That is insane. Nook the Cook and Batman Benby.
Benby is, and I think Batman Benby fits his role. I mean, it's crazy that that's his nickname because when you think about a roster, a lot of times it's the one player that goes unnoticed a little bit, that shadow player setting up the plays, developing at the midfield line. They're in on the aggression. You can count them on defense. It's kind of in the shadows. They're playing their role, and it doesn't always get highlighted all the time. And I think Benby is that player. He's kind of the player that has to create that space for Downshift, and you see that all the time headed into their matchups. And you're going to see Spooky Skelly on the pitch tonight. That is Benby. So
okay,
don't get confused.
I was just about to ask that.
If we are calling Benby by name and it says Spooky on the pitch.
I'm going to do my best to remember that it's Benby and not Skelly. But chat, do not patronize me if I say Skelly, okay? I'm trying my best. And they did take the field here, so we should be getting a start pretty soon. Just checking in with the players. Oh, okay, yeah, there was some lore as far as why he's playing on Spooky Skelly. His account did unfortunately get hacked.
Yeah, hey, listen, I've been down that road. That kind of stuff does happen from time to time, but we are headed to Manfield Night. Game number 1 coming out. Big kickoff in favor of Downshift. And I think when you talk about accolades on the pitch, and as great of individual players that everybody is, both of these teams, they have some amazing talent that has had to come together as new rosters and really find their place here at Riptide. And I think a strong start and not letting this mental really get a hold of you in tonight's best of 7 is going to be one of the couple big factors for both of these teams.
100%. I mean, there's like seasoned players all around on the field right now. Gray, Clixel, and Hazy, they've had multiple seasons in RLSS. Keesig and Nook, they definitely have had multiple seasons in RLSS. As far as I know, I believe this is Benby's first season. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I'm going to have to correct you there. Benby has been kind of under the radar, sitting as a sub position for a little while. He's been with Nook for quite some time. Him and Nook are this pretty good duos, and Keesig's kind of the odd man out heading onto this roster. And what's crazy is Benby and Keesig have found a way to work together and set up Nook on these crazy solo plays. And we know, if we're talking about mechanical players in Riptide, I feel like you just can't have those conversations without people like Nook, without people like Bawa getting brought up.
100%. And I mean, when it comes to the mechanics, as far as a list goes, Nook is on top of the book. I'd say he's probably number 1, but Gray gets a midfield redirect off the pass, a beautiful redirect. Look at the angle here he gets. Completely under the car, times his flip perfectly, puts that speed on it, and even cancels his flip. Put a little pizzazz on it. Beautiful stuff from Gray.
And that's what I love to see about Riptide. And we talked about it a little bit coming in here. The thing that excites me about Riptide is these players are trying to figure out Rocket League still. They've gotten the understanding now. They know what it takes. But now you've got to start bringing in those mechanics and working together as a team. As Keesig finds a little bit of a sneaky touch there at the midfield line. Nobody home on the back line, and this one's going to find its way through.
And we see Benby put it off the sidewall, which is a beautiful play to get it around 1. It sets up Keesig for a free B, and that's their third committing, and it just leaves an open net for Keesig to shoot at. And Keesig's the type of guy who's going to hit that every single time he gets it. We got Keesig playing off the sidewall. Gets a nice pinch. Hazy's going to have to hesitate. Played a little slow, and that might bite him as Nook just pounces all over it. Hazy with a bit of a mistouch here, and Nook just pounces on it immediately.
Whew. beat them to the punch. And anytime you get those touches and on defense, and I always call it the box. The box for me is the danger zone for defense. And I'm not saying that at all times, because I know when you get up into the likes of Cyclone Cup, and you can speak on this a little bit. Taking in those danger zones are not as scary because a lot of you have the capabilities of still getting it cleared out of that zone. The issue in the Riptide Cup is a lot of these players, you get these touches that just drop the ball inside the box. And that is danger, if you ask me, in the Riptide division. You do not want to leave the ball just kind of sitting there because, as you know, the mechanics aren't quite there for these players yet. They're still trying to get everything tuned and fine-tuned. They can hit shots, and if you're going to leave them one sitting out in front of the net, they're going to put that away.
Yeah, exactly. And as far as like playing those scenarios goes, it's really all about recognition and awareness, not only as a player but also as a team, calling that your teammate has time. In that situation, there might have been a call for time, but he just took a bit of a mistouch, which is also something that can happen. You got to be aware of that as well and be able to play a 50 if you take that mistouch. And Keesing with a savage demo on the gray just says, no thank you, this is my ball.
There was no need
You're
for
getting
that.
a little too close, buddy. Step back. Go back to your corner. As we do see the ball staying in this corner, though, somehow. Right where he killed Gray. Or sorry, where he unalived Gray with the demo. We see a bit of a double commit from N2N. They get a demo back, and they're sort of keeping possession, but it's not developing into anything. As Downshift, they're taking it right back onto their side. Nook's going to put a shot on. Clixel with the save. And I think N2N, they're getting a little bunched up here, and it's not really producing anything at all for them.
And they got to find a way to break out, and both teams are rotating through this midfield line, and they keep pressuring these corners, and as you climb these ranks, those corners, that corner zone I feel like becomes a little bit smaller, where there are parts of it you need to challenge because redirects and flip resets and all the gross corner reads can start coming out. But in the Riptide division, you're almost guaranteed some safety into the corner, and nothing too dangerous put on net for either one of these teams. However, for N2N Nomads, trailing by 1 with 30 seconds on the board, they need to find something. This shot played away by Nook. Out to midfield, looking for a clear. Can't quite get it. And there's one thing to speak to. The Nomads are rotating well. They haven't really allowed anything too dangerous to happen in the last about minute and a half. Time's running out.
Yeah, they've had possession, but it's just not developed into anything productive with that possession. Like, possession's great, but if we're keeping it in the corner, just taking 50 over 50 over 50, that's going to play right into Downshift's plan as they have a goal up and they take game 1.
A huge performance coming out of Downshift, now headed into Utopia Coliseum. It's always been, Utopia Coliseum. I'm at Urban Central. Something that Sporty's kind of got me in on as far as favorite maps goes. It says one of his top favorites, and it's slowly grown on me. I like the idea of it, like almost being inside of a snow globe.
Yeah, it's kind of just like a little like vibe, if anything. It's like not necessarily gloomy, but like, I don't know, it feels like that one spot where like after high school you go and like hang out with like all your friends just kicking it, you know? You know what I mean?
I feel you. I'm there. I can picture it now.
Yeah.
A beautifully
just a
strong
fun little hangout
performance,
spot,
man, coming out of Downshift, though. I mean, and this is what we're talking about. These are two, when you talk about accolades in this division, these two teams have 6 players that I feel like are in those conversations. And it's crazy to think that they're seeing each other all the way back in the quarterfinals of the Riptide division.
Yeah. Every single season, these guys are stepping up no matter what division they're playing in. And I mean, like you said, literally every single one of them on the pitch are like seasoned veterans of RLSS, which is just really cool to see, especially with their different rosters that they're on. It's really fun seeing old faces come together to make new teams. As we see N2N getting some early pressure here. They had the majority of the pressure for the latter half of that game, but it didn't really develop into anything as they were mainly playing shots from the corner that are just really hard angles to score. We see Downshift playing the backboard here. Hazy clears it out from the mid though. Gray with a great follow-up as Hazy almost gets a clear there onto their backboard, but it just misses. A good demo. Nobody's there to follow up though. Keysig's going to take a shot, but Gray is all over it. We see a little bit of trading possession here. Not really too much developing now.
And when we talk about OGs, we talk about seasoned veterans, one of the players on this pitch has a little bit more significant time on the field in RLSS, and that player is the one and only Hazy Days. We are recently been cooking in the background, and I got to take another look back at Season 1 recently, and Hazy Days has been here not just through Season 1, but before time he even started a league, there was a little thing called the Tommy Bucket Summer Splash Tournament. And there were 4 teams in it, and Hazy was on one of those 4 teams, and it is pretty remarkable to think that he has been here going on a total of almost 2 years of time, about a year and a half. So, I mean, the longevity he has had to be a competitor, and in every season that he's played, he has seen the postseason. He has seen the playoffs. He knows what it's like to be here. And I think that's what makes him so dangerous as a player.
100%. And I mean, he's a player who I have actually worked with personally whenever we were both on Unknown. And he's a very composed player and just person in general. He's always looking to improve his game. He's always looking for other people's opinions as well, which is really important at any level. I mean, especially lower level though, just to improve your game. You're going to learn the best from other people that play the game. And Hazy, he's the type of guy who he's always looking to improve. He's looking to play with people who are looking to improve. And that's really all that he cares about.
Now still in an absolute stalemate. It's 0-0. Here comes a demo, and this
right
one
as
finds
you
its
say
way
it.
through. And the aggression in favor of Downshift. Keysig again, what feels like just raw. I feel like he's trying to set the tone because he knows if he gives that room to Quixel, if he lets Quixel start opening up, things could get out of hand, and Keysig kind of taking the one for the team and starting to open up that early on pressure. But the captain from N2N Nomads not gonna have it. He's getting a little bit back the other way. Oh, yeah.
See a demo in the net, and Quixel's looking for another one. It's going to push Keysig out of position, but Benby spawns back in time and gets the save. Gets another 50. Quixel's going to wrap this one around. Hazy meets him halfway, puts it off the backboard, but Gray accidentally gets a backflip, and Keysig gets a free clear. He's on 0 boost, coming out of the corner. Tries to get a pinch, but Hazy's all over it. This one rolls up the wall. Benby takes 1 touch, takes a second, takes a third. That one's on net, and he slots it into the left post. My word, what a play from Benby. Takes 1 touch, plays it off the ceiling with the flip, and gets the angle for the triple tap. Beautiful play from Benby.
That was remarkable. And for JuicyBurg, who thought he was a brand new player, Benby coming out striking. Wait, and I feel like for Benby, right? He sat on the bench, I want to say for 2 seasons, where we only really saw him here and there, and then now on the pitch full time. I think he's just been, it's a matter of waiting for your turn, your chance. You know, they talk about that a lot, you know. That second or third string quarterback eventually gets their opportunity, and for Benby, he's been waiting in the shadows, and now a 2-point lead in favor of Downshift. Nomads looking for some fresh air in this series. The good thing about a best of 7, they still have time. However, you don't want that to slip away. 25 seconds on the clock, and Downshift out in front.
And Downshift, they're looking extremely comfortable right now. They're setting the tone, regardless of even if they're getting demoed like right now. They're playing these defensive rotations really tight, and the opportunities that they're giving up to N2N they just don't really amount to too much. We'll either see a mechanical error or just flat out a beat from Downshift. And we see it right here, though, as a double commit from Downshift. That is not what you want to see out of them. We got 2 players on the backboard in the same spot. Clixel puts it right in between them. Benby gets the touch, but Gray's just waiting to clean up right there at the back post.
What was a long shot, now a chance waiting in the wake. 14 seconds. Nomads just need one, and we could be looking at a little bit of OT out in front, but no shooter in the clear from Nook. I don't know if a better situation could have came out there on a big clear for Downshift, as they now lead this series 2-0.
Yeah, and Nook just realized that Hazy, if he were to full send there, he'd be committing his third man, which in this situation, you can argue 100% that Hazy should commit there. Just because, you know, they're down 1, you got 5 seconds. So he arguably should be committing there, but Gray and Clixel were all on top of each other, making Hazy very hesitant as far as what he should do. And if I'm N2N here, I'm getting a little, definitely a little bit scared. We're on 2-0. This is a swing game now. If Downshift win this, all of a sudden it's match point, and you got to win 4 in a row. They might want to try to stop some momentum here, but it doesn't look like they're going to take the timeout. It's interesting, very interesting.
Maybe they're hoping they can at least get one, and then on the third they'll take the timeout. But I think momentum is everything. For me personally, I think seeing a timeout come here wouldn't have been surprising none the least.
Yeah.
They're going to be headed into DFH Stadium, hoping they can turn things around. Kickoff about to take place. Me and Bergie in the booth.
Dude, I saw that chat and I was just fingers crossed. Do not clip that. Chat, do not clip that. We got Hazy getting demoed. Once again, these backline demos, the demos are all about being effective, and the demos that have come out of N2N just haven't been really too effective, as there'll be somebody from Downshift to clean up right after. And we almost just saw an early goal from Downshift, which would have been the worst start possible for N2N, but thankfully they got out of that alive.
This is going to sound crazy to say, knowing that Clixel's on this roster, but I think N2N needs to find their aggression. I think they're being
100%
overly patient with Downshift, almost waiting for mistakes. It's the postseason. Downshift had an amazing regular season. They've shown that they don't really make mistakes, and I expect those mistakes to be less and less as the postseason continues and we get inch closer and closer to the grand finals. And for the Nomads, I think when we've seen them at their best is when they are fast, when they're playing aggressive and playing this quick play style.
They just got a double demo.
Double bumping front bumpers coming out of the Nomads.
And they still couldn't capitalize, and Ben just takes it coast to coast and gives Kiesig a free open net. Gray in the corner, trying to wait on some boost, doesn't find it, gets caught out of position, and Kiesig with the free tap-in.
I'm telling you, I don't know, man. It's almost over patience coming out of the Nomads.
100%. They're not taking their opportunities right at all. They'll play overcommitted on situations where they just shouldn't be overcommitted. They leave their third man in a terrible spot, and almost every single time Downshift is capitalizing. As I say that, Gray puts a shot on net. Kiesig with the diving save, though. And look, once again, it was an open net. Thankfully for them, Kiesig couldn't capitalize. He gets a demo, though, on the backboard. They're going to have a little bit of a extended stay on offense until Clixel gets that huge clear.
This could be an opening for the Nomads, and I think we need to see the shooter. And typically speaking, that has been coming from Gray. Gray has been able to either A, create space, or be able to make shots land, and for Nomads, that has been the trouble all series long tonight. Great opportunities. We talked about it. Their ball possession is great. Yeah. They get into the right spots, but there's just nobody taking those shots.
And
for the Nomads, it's
statistically,
been their biggest issue.
Statistically, they've had more shots every single game so far. We got to talk about quality though. They're ringing out these shots, but they're either like on the crossbar, on the post, or more than likely getting saved by Downshift. Which, I mean, if your shots are getting saved at such a frequent amount to where the other team's getting 10 saves on 14 of your shots, you got to start talking about placement.
Okay, Bemby, I see you. The ground pinch almost coming out. Now, Gray. And they're creating these spaces with demos now. I mean, they are giving Downshift everything they got, it feels like, on offense.
Oh!
And
Clixel with the double tap.
lands.
Woo! Look at Clixel getting up and getting active here. Takes one touch off the backboard, and he has the read all the way through. That's way too easy for the Demolition Derby champion. Clixel. I think his play has been by far the most impressive out of N2N so far. His touches have been solid, and his demos obviously have been solid. He's taken it a little upon himself now to maybe get his team going. That should give them some momentum here. Maybe give these boys some confidence, which they need. And it could be a confidence thing, to be completely honest, just by the way that they're shooting and the way that they're playing.
Just trying to find just a little bit of breathing room, and the chaos starting to come out for the defense on Downshift. Now looking for a clear. They keep finding it out to midfield, and then the quick possession back the other way. The demo comes out from Bemby, removing Gray, who then gets forced into the same corner. It is just demo after demo right now. I think somebody called the Loco Demolition Derby, and we might have the wrong event.
There have been an insane amount of demos this game, but we see Kiesig getting a little too aggressive for the demo there, and he leaves his teammate in a not so good spot, as he didn't see Clixel right behind Gray. Clixel just sneaks in there, shoots the shot, which is essentially free for him. He just has to put it not right on top of their hood. And he does just that. You see Gray trying to go off the ceiling, but Benby with a beautiful challenge. Hazy puts it off the sidewalk. Kiesig's up early though. Gets it around Clixel. We see Nook taking a catch here. Gets a flick. And that might be their third, but Hazy thankfully gets back. Clixel with the pop-up. We see Downshift, they're retreating. Nobody really on the ball, and Hazy gets a demo. And that's an open net for Gray. We see N2N striking back strong now in Game 3.
Confidence on display, the aggression is there, and we talked about it early on, and maybe this is just a team that needs to find their rhythm, and they just couldn't get it early on against Downshift. But once they start picking up this aggression and that confidence is there, this is what people are scared of when they see N2N on their season schedule. This is what makes this team a team known to find themselves deep into the playoffs. Nice performance here. Bemby now. The pinch up and over. They need a quick one if they want to find a tie, but the pickup here and a clear over the midfield line. N2N will be looking at their first match win in tonight's series.
Yeah, and now we got a 2-1 series. N2N once again dominating the shots. It wasn't too different as far as the gameplay goes. I think we just saw a lot more confidence and a lot more capitalization out of N2N. I think they were playing for each other a lot more as well.
And they've always been kind of dominating the field in ball possession. A little bit over the 50% mark in field domination. And it's about finding them shots. We were missing that shooter. Everything was there. The play was there. It was written up perfectly. But the defense from Downshift was able to shut them down, but not here in game number 3. Now the series 2-1 in favor of Downshift, headed into game number 4. We're headed to Wasteland Pitched in tonight's Riptide Cup quarterfinals matchup. And I'm excited, man. We're starting to see the momentum pick up from the Nomads. Downshift now the team that needs to kind of recalibrate. And for both of these teams, maybe it was a good idea from Nomads. Maybe they thought mentally they could get the swing there, and we're hoping so, and they didn't need to use the technical timeout and could use it later in the series when they need it. Might have been a bold move there.
And looking back in hindsight, it honestly, you can argue that it was a good call because, I mean, they've been dominating as far as the possession and the genuine opportunities go. It's just been about capitalization in those first 2 games. Downshift were capitalizing on their opportunities that they got with such great efficiency. That game, though, we saw a bit of a different version of both teams, though. N2N, primarily from N2N, stepping up, being more confident. Look at these early challenges, shutting these opportunities down. And then from Downshift, maybe the confidence is dialing a bit back after that 3-1 game that they had.
Nice performance here at the midfield line. The touch needed to be there from Hazy. G6 up early. Out of boost. Needs some assistance. They've got Nook over 1 off the backboard. The drop down. He almost gets the double, but this one's shut down off the crossbar and out. N2N Nomads stay alive off of the early presence here from Downshift.
And I think that sort of presence has been something that we've seen out of Downshift, but it hasn't been any sort of extended stay. They get in and they get out like almost just as quick. N2N has been dominating as far as the possession and the shots go. And we see Benby take a 50 in his own corner here. Gray's going to set it off the backboard. Where's the shooter? Hazy beats him to the ball, which is still a good play. Keeps this ball in their half, and it sets up Gray, who hits it off the post. It was a beautiful pass from Clixel. Gray just couldn't find home. And this 50 bounces off the sidewall. We should be able to see Downshift take a clear here. Passes it to Keysig. Keysig takes a fake, takes it to the corner, goes up the wall. Hazy's all over it. Hits it down to Gray. Gray gets a 50. Benby gets beat by Clixel, and Clixel takes the shot off the crossbar. And Hazy almost gets a shot himself. And we're seeing some great opportunities out of N2N. Once again, though, the capitalization isn't there. Benby hitting the post himself. These teams are just trading blows of just hitting the woodwork right now.
I think if any coach is out there watching, they're telling them, go to Coco's as soon as this series is done. Great opportunities, and it hasn't been because of the defense, but the crossbar. The 4th man on the pitch for both of these teams have been relentless, and now the putback from Nook. Nobody's home on the backside. They left the front door wide open for Downshift.
It's just a beautiful cut across the field. Gray just didn't even see him coming. Look at that. Nook using the speed, using the art of deception, essentially, to get that one in. And this is a little bit, we're back to that scary situation now for N2N, as if they lose this game, all of a sudden they got to win 3 in a row to win this series. You got to start questioning the mentality now. Can they toughen this out? As Hazy puts one on net from downtown, right below the crossbar. Clixel with the demo, Gray with the 50, Hazy with the flat-out beat on the last man, and Benby can't spawn back in time for that heat seeker.
I feel like there's it's friendly, but I feel like there's like this subliminal I can demo 2 aggression going on in the background.
I do see that as well. Clixel, I mean, you hear his name and you already know that the demos are going to come afterwards. Like, and that's just a given. You're going to be demolished in this series. And it's up to how you respond, and they want to try to respond with more demos. Which, I mean, hey, I'm all for it. I'm here for the chaos.
Nook, nice touch into the corner. Wants the center. Now the
we
demo
see it again.
From Benby trying to open up the door. Keysig shut down through the corner. Now Clixel picks up the clear over the midfield line. Wants a center. 50's through. Keysig defends the backboard. And again, another stalemate headed into what could be the final 60 seconds and a 1-point differential to finish out. I think we've seen a very close series. It was 2-1 the first 2 games, 3-1 in the last game, and now it's 1-1 in the final 60 seconds. I mean, you could just almost feel the tension on the pitch. It almost feels like the demos are breaking that tension.
100%. as the demos will, no matter what, create opportunity as it's a player off the field for at least 3 seconds. As Gray almost slots that one, but Benby is all over it. He's going to try to center this one. That goes to Hazy, but Benby is still on the ball. Benby has been pretty impressive so far. As, I mean, I didn't really have many expectations, but I feel like he's been extremely impactful on the field on every single level.
Call him Batman Benby for a reason. Now to the midfield line. Broken up by the defense. Big clear. Keysigs off the backboard. Hazy. They pull 2 into the corner. This could create some additional time for Downshift on the attack. And it does exactly that. 4 seconds left. Ball's up at midfield. Still on N2N side. That's the end of regulation. We are headed to OT here at game number 4. The Nomads turn things around and tie this series up 2-2. Will they find themselves backs against the wall? Oh my goodness, Benby gets robbed by the crossbar and what would have been a filthy redirect.
And I feel like this OT, it's the first one of the series, yet it's going to be 100% the most impactful OT of the series, as if we see a win here from Downshift, they're up 3-1. They're on match point. If we see a win from Nomads, we got a tie series, 0-0. Best of 3, essentially. First team to win 2 games is going to take the dub. We see Clixel pass it out to mid, just a little bit behind Gray. He's going to have to take a 50. That Benby just kind of bodies him on, but Hazy is there to collect. Nook meets him on the wall with the reverse chow. Gets another challenge. Gray's going to clear this, though. We should see a little bit of relief from N2N here. Ben's going to take it up the wall. Gets 50'd from Gray. Beautiful early challenge. Keeps them here in the corner. And we get a raid from Alligator Saurus. Raiding with a party of 10. Oh my word, we get a double raid.
Thank you guys so much for coming out. This is the Surge Cup, or Riptide Cup, I apologize, in the quarterfinals. Right now, Downshift up 2-1 in the series. And for the Nomads, they are hoping to turn things around. Joining me in the booth, if you guys aren't familiar with the voice alone, Mr. Burger in the chat. You've been joining me as recently as a caster. I always like to bring in some casters. We've had Curio in here for a while. Now Burger's getting in with us. It's always exciting to see some people get in on this action and get to see what I see a little bit. And I always tell people it's a different world on this side.
100%. And I hit my first cast the other day, actually, with Tommy. It was some Surge Cup quarterfinals, but let's talk about the game happening right now. Great, off the corner, gets it to Hazy, takes one touch around him, tries to control it, wrapping around, tries to get the pass down, but all of Downshift are on that one. Nook tries to get the sidewall, couldn't get the touch though. Great, pops us up to Hazy, a bit of a double commit though. We should see a little bit of control here from Downshift if they play this properly. Gets the pop over one. Who's going to be first? It's Gray. Gets the bang off the ceiling to Clixel with the shot off the post. Gray with the fake. Hazy.
Oh, no.
Oh, my goodness. That was the best opportunity we've seen this OT so far.
Oh, Nomad is going to want that one back.
My word. They still have control here. They still have possession, though, and we've seen a bit of an extended stay now. Benby gets the touch over one. Kiesig follows it up. Hazy and Great with another double commit. They got to start getting these comms together, and I think they'll be looking a lot better here. Nook, sidewall once again, gets a 50 as well. This is going off the backboard. Gray has to get the touch, and he does. Kiesig meets him in the corner.
This is such a big OT. Mind you, folks, 3:18 was my longest OT, so officially in Season 5, the quarterfinals of the Riptide Cup, Downshift and N2N Nomads have seen the longest OT that Tommy B has experienced, as we are approaching almost 4. They've almost played an entire another game. Nomads wanting all of this one. They've had the biggest opportunity, I think, in this OT so far, and hopefully they're able to get back to that. because opportunities like that don't stay around for long. Kiesig wants this one center. Can't get it through the corner. Now Bemby off the side wall. The drop down in front. They got the breakaway. Kiesig's there. He can't get back to it. Hazy Days sends him to game number 5.
And that is just a huge swing game for N2N to pick up there. Hazy Days capitalizes on his second attempt. We got a tie series now. This is a much closer series than it could have been if Downshift get that win. We're looking at a 3-1 there, which in most instances, I don't think N2N comes back from a 3-1, especially with the way Downshift has been playing, but a huge win out of the Nomads. And we're going to see a tie series now. We got best of 3 now, ladies and gentlemen.
We are headed to Tommy's favorite map, baby. Aquadome coming at you on 6. I'm pumped. It's been game 7 in every matchup, ladies and gentlemen. If you forgot, let's take another quick look. We have yet to not see a game 7 in the quarterfinals. We know we're going to at least be looking at a game 6. Will one of these teams find themselves all the way to Champions Field? And what's crazy is we still have yet to see the technical timeout. What I'm assuming here is the first one's going to come out after whoever takes home the victory here on game 5. And then the next one, if we are going to be looking at Champions Field.
Yeah, and I mean, this is what it all comes down to, Aquadome. It's really funny to say that out loud. But hopefully we see Bruce getting some action here. Game 6, an interesting kickoff as Nomads kind of just missed the ball, but they get a demo right off the bat. Great, pops this one up. Who's going to be there? It's a 50. Benby wins pretty convincingly. Hazy's awkward, floating here. See if they can get the shot. It's a double 50. Nook is somehow still on the ball. That was insane. Kiesig tries to keep this one in play. Hazy with the pop. No boost on his name, though. He just has to fake that one. Clixel tries to gather here. He's a little awkward. Kiesig just takes his cookies. And Nook takes the 50 in the corner. Takes another 50 in the corner. This one's bouncing out mid. Who's first? Gray gets the pop. Up to Clixel. Gets the redirect. That's on net. Benby has to make the touch. It's not a great one, but Nook. It's just a drop down right to Nook, who gets a free clear. We're back on N2N side now.
Yo, we got Adam Court and in the chat as well. This is crazy, man. What a series of events it has been tonight. I appreciate everybody who's coming out. You are just tuning in.
Yo, huge shout out to Adam.
Oh, yeah.
The owner of New Horizons.
New Horizons, also a pivotal voice in the Rocket League community, showing some love down in the Riptide Cup of RLSS, and
the spreadsheet
been
guru.
Exciting. The spreadsheet guru.
He's the lord of the spreadsheets. As we see N2N trying to up the aggression here. Clixel is just all over Kiesig. Ray gets that one centered, but Hazy gets met by a 50 from Downshift. We're in N2N's quarter now. Great with the miss, but Clixel's there to clean up. Kiesig meets him off the sidewall though. This one's centered. Hazy gets the beat out. We're seeing a lot of back and forth this game, as ever since that OT happened, there's been what almost feels like what you said, that insane pressure happening, as neither team wants to do anything crazy. We're seeing a lot of patience from both sides, and a lot of just trying to not overcommit, as that's how most of the goals in this series have been played out.
It feels like a wine cork popping off, man. Like, just insane amount of pressure, and as soon as one of these teams finds a little bit of that breakthrough, it can really be devastating. And to be honest, we're halfway again. We saw it in last game where nobody had points on the board at the halfway point.
Oh!
Great!
Anytime
just off the roof of his car from the corner.
Oh my goodness. And I'm going to have to bring up a little bit of a caster curse here, because this is the second time you brought up the 0-0 and somebody gets scored on immediately. That is insane. That's twice now. It happened last game as well. Beautiful stuff coming out from the bucket. You see,
if you guys haven't heard, by the way, E-Rich in chat, the probably, and I don't want you to take this the wrong way because this is not what it's meant to be for, but the biggest Cinderella story I think we've seen in RLSS so far, the Rick Rollers headed to the semifinals against Lotus 8 Esports.
Oh
and
my,
Gray is
Gray.
just popping off.
Nomads are putting their foot down on this series now, as if they win this one, that's 3 in a row for them. They started off a little bit poor, not a lot of capitalization. They had the pressure, but now they're looking in sync. And if they get 3 in a row, I mean, we're definitely going to have to see a timeout out of Downshift because, you know, they'll be on match point. But the momentum might just be a little too much to stop on a 3-game swing.
Yeah, for Downshift, we saw that big shift in play come from the Nomads, and I think in best of sevens, being able to adapt is probably the biggest key factor in a lot of series. You're not losing in 3, you need 4, and for a lot of teams, that's when they reach into their playbook. When things aren't going their way, they try to find out what is gonna break. And K-Sig, shattering ankles. Somebody get the doctor. The corner read.
He's just too fast. Ain't nobody's reading that except K-Sig. He's got the momentum. He plays the corner touch right around Clixel. Hazy Days is waiting, gets caught lacking. And K-Sig has all the speed, just beats him to the ball. Beautiful play off the corner from K-Sig. And they have a whole minute to work with now. Oh.
There ain't no gas in it.
We got a blackjack reference. We got Hazy Days taking a bit of a mistouch here. This might be dangerous. It goes across the face of the net, but nobody there is there to clean up. And this is looking a little bit dangerous now for Downshift, as they might be on a 3-game swing here. We should see them at least put their foot down on the gas a little bit here as Benby is going to take the shot. That's a double commit. K-Sig off the crossbar. My goodness. That is so unfortunate out of K-Sig. And Gray with the redirect. That posted in. Oh my goodness. Gray's been hitting these redirects all series long. And he gets another one just waiting on that midfield. Gets the touch off the post. And Benby just not in the correct position for that save.
Somebody ate their Wheaties this morning. Gray, the season 4 regular season MVP, and this one's on target from Clixel. Downshift needs to find another gear because this one's getting out of hand. Out in front, 4-1 for the Nomads.
We should almost certainly see a timeout here after this game. If not, I'm going to be not only disappointed, but very confused from K-Sig. I'm going to have a talk with him in moderator chat. As Nook, he gets the bag that might squeak in. 4-2 with 13 seconds left. I mean, I'm just saying, if we see a kickoff goal here, I like their odds. That's all I'm going to say, though. I'm not trying to put a caster curse or anything like Mr. Tommy Buckets.
What's that, the formation in football when they have a feeling that they're just going to throw a Hail Mary? You would think that we're going to see Nomads kind of...
Oh my goodness.
There's 1 second there. Oh my goodness.
I mean, we see the Hail Mary formation. We got Benby taking it out of the corner off the sidewall. Hazy Days just once again just can't get there in time. And K-Sig just beats him to the ball and slots that baby in the bottom left corner.
Prevent defense needs to come out if you're the Nomads.
And let's see if we see some 0-second magic here as it's on their side. Nook with the pop-up. K-Sig's going to be up for this, but he can't find the aerial. Gray's just going to stare at that one because he does not need to hit it. And thankfully for N2N, they squeak out of this game with the win. It looked scary in those last 20 seconds. And
if I don't see the word timeout, it's going to make me feel like I need to type it in chat.
But yeah, like tell them that they have a timeout. Oh, they're just ready. They're just readying up. An awkward silence here in the casting booth as we're waiting to see a timeout, hopefully. Nothing coming out.
I'm just gonna throw out a reminder. I feel like I've said it enough times that they know, but like if it's not warranted, these two teams are. It looks like they are ready to duke it out.
They just don't care. They really they just want to get on the field and hit the ball. That is all that they're thinking about right now. And I mean, hey, I can't blame them. Sometimes you just get in that zone. I think they're zoned right now. I think they think that they can take this. It's all about finding that form.
And maybe you're right. Maybe it's a confidence thing. Maybe from Downshift, they just, hey man, we can do it. Let's make it happen. Game 6 coming at you. Will we see another Game 7 showdown in the Riptide Cup? I mean, if what we've seen so far is any precedence of what we could see all the way to the grand finals, this is gonna blow this is gonna be one heck of a postseason.
I mean, it already has been with all these best of 7s going to Game 7. Only in the quarterfinals as well, by the way. Like, we're at bare minimum, the shortest series that we've seen is a Game 6. It's Clixel trying to end this one in 6, but he finds the crossbar. Great. Tries to put that one on net. It's just a little wide, though. Ben's going to take control out of the corner, but Clixel meets him early. This one's rolling off the backboard. Nook gets a little bit of a clear. Hazy, he's going to keep this one in, though. Kiesig gets to that ball first in the air. It's a little awkward for his teammates, though. Gray's going to take his time, puts it on net. Benby with another save, though. Benby, I really like his impact throughout the entire field. But I think the whole team needs to come together as N2N has all of the pressure here. They're finding the crossbar multiple times. Blackjack, please remind these fellas that they need Cocos.
The coaches in the chat can sense Coco's training needing to come through. As the crossbar hasn't been players, but the crossbar itself has made probably close to 10 to 15 saves so far this series.
On both sides, easily. Easily.
Nook looking for the clear out to midfield. Clicks on the early challenge, and it's going to beat the opponent. Now the clear back the other way. Both teams, it just feels like it feels another one of those wine cork situations where you could just feel the tension barring down at both of these teams. The fake from Hazy.
He's just struggling on 0 boost, I can't lie. He's driving around. And thankfully it works out for him, though, as Clixel was ready for the so-called fake. And we see Hazy wrapping it around the ceiling, though. Clixel with the mid-pass, but Nook is just all over that. And Clixel tries to get this mid here. Gets a 50 on Benby. Hazy's going to be the first one to this ball. Tries to slot. It's once again off the post. And my word, this is a very intense game. All of them have been so intense up until something just, like you said, the cork unwinds, something pops, something gives. And we've yet to see that in Game 6.
It always
Hopefully we don't
seems
cast
like
or curse
it
this.
strongly enhances whichever team gets the pop of the bottle. And we've seen it from both teams, and once they find that confidence, it just unravels their full potential. And I think headed into the end of Game 6 and Game 7, they're going to need to be able to kind of rally the troops here. And for me, I always talk about looking at the captains in these situations. You got to look at Kiesig, you got to look at Gray, or whoever, maybe if the IGL is a little bit different role for these teams, but somebody's got to find that voice and somebody's got to rally the troops for both of these teams to put it away.
Oh.
Clicks off the crossbar. Oh.
My goodness, N2N. That is 4 post hits in this game alone. And I believe my call of 10 to 15 crossbar on both saves is definitely accurate. As we've seen at least 4 in this game alone. As honestly, this is Downshift's most favorite outcome. N2N can't find their shooting, which is exactly what we saw in games 1 and 2. They not necessarily were missing shots, but Downshift were saving most of them. And I mean, they're impacting them at least to make them hit the post. Although a couple of these have been pretty glaring. We won't knack on them too much though. As Downshift, they've taken them to the other side. Hazy with beautiful control, flicks it around one. Ben with the chow though. Great. It's a whiff, and there's a demo. This one might just roll in from
my
Ben.
God!
Beautiful demo from Ben, and it just frees up the net. My word, a beautiful play from Ben.
Batman Benby with the smoke screen to the shot. It just rolls in. 30 seconds on the clock. It's a 1-point game. Downshift looking to send it to game 7.
And I hate to be the bearer of bad news for N2N right now, but they have really been their own worst enemies in this game. They've had at least 2 very good opportunities to score. And on that goal there, we saw an unfortunate whiff from Gray in the corner. It left Clixel all alone in the net, and Benz took advantage, got the demo, and it was an open net. Now we see 3 seconds left. Pass out to the mid. Kiesig with the shot. That might find home, but Hazy gets there in time. And Ben could just stare at this ball as it drops. And all of a sudden, just like that, every single series in this Riptide quarterfinals has been game 7.
Bruh. I don't have the words, man. I said it in the beginning. There was a lot of teams that seemed like they thought they had it. It was the grand finals. There was no chance anybody stopping them. Now here in the quarterfinals, 8 teams left, and we are headed to Champions Field once again.
I mean, as a caster, this is exactly what I want to see. As a personal N2N enjoyer and player, this is not what I want to see. As we are defeating our own selves here. Boys, we got to lock in. I hate to bring out the bias right now, but boys, come on. We are beating ourselves here. Let's lock in.
And you got to, those are the things that can really harp on a player's mental deep into these
100%.
into these games. Is you've got to find a way to shake that stuff off, because you're absolutely right. One shot really that was really beneficial for Downshift, and there were 2 or 3 crossbar shots coming out of Nomads, which would have been the difference maker.
And it's all about execution and capitalization this entire series. We've seen N2N essentially have more pressure the entire series. And if they're not going to capitalize on these shots, we're going to see... Oh my goodness! We're going to see Gray set up an insane solo play out of the corner. Takes one touch off the sidewall to himself, pops it over one, gets the double tap. Beautiful play from Gray. Just takes on the entire team. He says, if nobody's hitting these shots, I'll set them up and hit them myself.
I feel like that was a personal shot at Bergie himself on that one from Gray.
Just heard me yapping about their misses and was like, fine, I'll do it myself. Going Thanos mode.
Gray, the opening party here on Champions Field, and sometimes Champions Field just brings out the best in players, man. You know you're here. It's usually a harsh reminder that the season's on the line, the series is on the line. When you know you're headed to Champions Field, you're reminded all over again of the anxiety that comes along with these matchups. And a shot on target from beyond half court. Nook puts one on the net from Downshift as they go into hyper gear. And they're going to need to find one here on Champions Field. Nice little redirect now off the backboard. Benby looking for a shooter. Kiesig collects at the midfield line. Back into the zone. Downshift hoping to find a little bit of breathing room.
Oh my God! Hazy does his best to keep that one out of the net, but he's the only one home with that demo on Gray. Beautiful play from Kiesig. Gets the demo. And, I mean, Hazy, you got to give props to him for that save. But, I mean, just nothing much you can do when your other teammate is demoed on that back line. You see a tie game here with 4 minutes left to play. And Game 7s, we witnessed this the last time that we casted as well. Game 7s are often either very chaotic or they're going to be the most standstill, dead games that you have ever seen. So far, we got a chaotic entrance. And we get another raid from Seth Palm. W Seth Palm in the chat.
W Seth Palm in the chat. Kira, if you are out there, can we get a shout out for my man Seth Palm, please and thank you. Welcome in, Raiders. Just tuning in. This is Game 7. Another Game 7 showdown here in the quarterfinals between Downshift and N2N Nomads. And right now, for both of these teams, again, look how close the game is, man. No, he wins
my
it.
goodness.
Duke buries it off the 50 on the goal line. And I warned you about it before. I don't know what it is about the Riptide, but Heady decides to take this one back across the net and gets punished for it as Nook buries this one home.
It's like the same exact play that we saw earlier as well. Heady not necessarily with a mistouch, but like you said, taking it across his own net. And Nook, once again, just early challenging and finding that dunk all over him. And we've seen Nook do that a few times, actually. There's been a few times where he just early challenges and catches them off their feet, they're just not ready for the challenge. And we see N2N, they're going to have to make a response here now as Clixel hits this one off the sidewall. It takes a favorable bounce for them. It's going to be awkward for Downshift, but Heady not quite there in time. And then he's going to take this one on the N2N side, and he forces a double commit, which once again we saw earlier in the series whenever N2N were losing these games. They were double committing. They were not capitalizing on their opportunities and overall just didn't look confident in their gameplay. And all of a sudden, it feels like all the momentum has just shifted towards Downshift. No reference there.
Nomads looking for a play. This could be
Beautiful demo.
The putback, and it's 2-2 inside the 2-minute mark here on Champions Field. These teams leaving everything on the pitch. Benby tries to get a piece of it, but it's not going to happen. The MVP from Season 4 left with a wide open net inside the box. He almost guaranteed to find this one slotting its way through. Benby now high in the rafters, looking for a clear over Clixel. Can't quite find it. Now here comes a big touch. Nook off the backboard. He's got the opportunity. He sends it off the backboard again, but it's well defended from the Nomads. And when you talk about the Riptide Cup, that backboard is something that a lot of teams struggle to be cognizant of on defense. Somebody's got to be there, because if you give these guys room, they might not hit it all the time, but if they have the opportunity enough times, these shooters find their way through. And it is dangerous. And for N2N Nomads, they're starting to lock down the backboard. Will that be the difference maker in the closeout of game number 7?
And it was once again, oh my goodness! Nook with the Devo Zen play off the backboard. Holy, Nook, he gets the challenge off the ceiling, comes back down, gets the dunk all over Clixel's head, dunks 2 of N2N's players there. Dunks Gray on the initial challenge, comes off the backboard and dunks it over Clixel. My goodness, talk about a Game 7 peaker. Nook with the hat trick.
The hat trick in what could be the pivotal moment for Downshift as they now alleviate some pressure. The wine bottle has been popped. And for the Nomads, they're still searching for that surge of energy as Hazy Days, the calm and collected, has finally broken out of his shell. Hazy Days on target to tie it up.
And Hazy, he said, not so fast, Mr. Nook. I think we got a whole nother OT to play out here, okay? We might be seeing a Game 7 OT here, ladies and gentlemen. We got 30 seconds left, and this thing is all tied up. Nook plays it to the right. Tries to take control here. N2N, they look like they don't want to see OT. They're getting all up in Downshift's face right now. As Benby takes a little bit of an awkward challenge. Hazy sends us off the backboard. Who's going to be there? 2 whiffs out of Downshift. Gray sends it mid, but Benby's there to meet. That's on target. Keysig's going to meet him with the 50. This is looking dangerous if anybody can get to it, but Clixel gets there first, gets the 50. It's bouncing down. Clixel still on the ball. Nook just being a pest. And we got OT in Game 7, ladies and gentlemen.
What was the last one? 4 and some change, right? It was 4:10, 4:15-ish?
Yeah, it was right around like the 4:30 range, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
So that was the current longest OT was in this series. Now on
this is a good
Champions Field,
opportunity.
will it remain, or will one of these teams find a quick one? The golden shot lays in the balance. Nice touch here from Downshift towards the net. An easy pickup, though, for Hazy on the far side. And Gray again, the early pressure coming out. Downshift in another gear. Here in OT.
We see a great 50, though, come out of Gray, and it sends this ball all the way to the orange side. And throughout this Game 7, we have seen some absolute peaks. Gray, right off the bat, with the sidewall pass to himself with the double touch off the backboard. We see Nook. Oh my goodness, Gray just finds home as a little bit of an overcommit, comes out of Downshift, and Gray capitalizes immediately. There was no reason for Kisig to drive up there, but he does, and it leaves his net wide open. And Gray, the hero in Game 7, comes up clutch for N2N Nomads. Look at that. 3 goals, 1 assist, 2 saves. We got 100% goal participation out of Gray. 776 points. My goodness.
I told you coming into this that I felt like the captain was going to have to step up, and be the pivotal player. And for the Nomads, Gray did exactly that here on Champions Field. Welcome.
And
back to the booth, and we will be headed down for the post-game presser. Let's update the spreadsheet real quickly here for these guys, and we will get things underway with that. All right. I can't believe we just saw another 4-3, dude. I am like absolutely blown away that just happened. All right.
Yeah.
Welcome in. How are we feeling?
Bro, I am shaking. Man, what a series.
Bro, what a game.
What
a series. That was nuts.
That was the craziest series I've ever played.
I liked it. I don't know if you guys knew it coming into this. It was the last and final game of the quarterfinals that needed to go to 7 in order for all games in the quarterfinals to go to Game 7.
That's crazy. I did see that earlier. I was like, no, we're going to be the one to not go to 7.
Same.
Jeez, what do? We go Game 7 overtime for the bucket.
And on
we
top
do
of that,
it for the fans, boy.
The longest OT we've had here in the bucket. I believe JuicyBurg said it was like 4 minutes and 30 seconds, somewhere around there.
Yeah, something like that.
An insane performance from you guys. Kind of walk me through it, man. You started off a little slow. You started to find some rhythm. Downshift hit you with another strong one in Game 6. Now you're on Champions Field. You guys are tied, headed into OT. I mean, was there anything particular that prepared you or kind of gave you that what you needed for that OT?
I think we decided we were just going to play our game. We decided that they weren't going to be controlling the pace with the demos, because that's how they took Game 1 and 2. Is they think they scored all of their goals off of somebody getting demoed.
Yeah.
So we just decided that we were going to be the aggressors, and we were going to be the one to keep the ball on their half. And obviously it worked Game 3 and 4 and 5. Worked Game 3, 4, and 5. And then they adapted. They started playing. I don't know what they did, but they ran us over in Game 6, and then Game 7 was just kind of back and forth. Kind of.
I shit myself twice. Game 7. So
it was Game 7 was wild.
Game 6.
Game 7 started off with a bang. That's all I gotta say.
Believe it or not, for Game 6, it actually also ended with one of you guys getting demoed.
Yeah.
It ended in a bang.
Yeah. It left Hazy in a really tough spot as he couldn't get to the ball. But like you said though, Game 7 starting off with a bang. I just want to know, from we saw two absolute screamers in that game 7. First off, Gray with the double touch off like the sidewall to yourself, and then off the backboard over a defender. Beautiful play. But I want to talk about Nook's play,
That
where
shot off the back.
That was
my
that was
God.
that was
was
insane.
gross.
He tied. I believe he took
I
the lead with
almost had
that.
It, dude. It did.
They did.
I almost
Yeah.
had it.
With a
He-
minute left.
He took the lead, and I just want to know, what were the comms like whenever he hit that shot? What was going through your guys' head individually whenever that shot went in that puts him up a goal?
First
In
thing
that
I
game
said was
7.
we got to regain. We just
Yeah.
got to regain.
I said, "Damn, nice shot."
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we were just like, nice shot. Well, now we just got to score one.
Yeah, there's nothing we could do. Nobody's saving that. Like, that was a hell of a shot. So yeah, that wasn't anyone's fault on our side. So we were like, all right, fuck it. We scored 2. Let's score one more.
Just got to regain, man. Just got to trust it. I mean, our comms were on fire. We were rotating well. We gave them a little bit too much space in a couple games, and they took advantage of it. And we just said, hey, tighten up and keep the comms going and trust each other.
I want to take this back a little bit in the series. Headed into game 3. You're done with game 2. Did you know there was a tactical timeout available?
Yes.
Yeah, we did.
Yes.
Was there a decision made to not use that tactical timeout? You're down 0-2. You're headed to game 3. Things just didn't seem warm enough for you guys. And honestly, me and Berger talked about it a little bit. And you guys had the offense. You had the control of the field. It was just that shooter position. Was there a decision made to not take that tactical timeout and just hope that you guys were going to bounce back? Can you kind of walk me through what was going on headed into game 3? Because if you really think about it, it was a big pivotal tipping point for you guys. And you guys picked up a 3-game win streak headed after that. So was there anything that you guys said to each other or anything that happened at the end of that game 2 that really kind of set that tone and set that precedence?
Lock in.
Yeah. I think
Lock in.
Yeah, I think that's really when we decided. We didn't take the timeout because all it took was lock in and play our game, which is you guys know, it's the super aggressive. Nobody likes to play defense.
Passing
Passing,
Yeah.
score a bunch of goals. So after game 2, we're letting them control how fast this game is going, and it's costing us, and it cost us in the regular season. So let's flip the switch. Let's just go fast and see what happens. And we won 3 games straight. So.
Especially after game 3, we saw, our pressure was rattling them. We kept them on their back, and they didn't like it. We saw them jumping, double committing, couple whiffs here and there. They were kind of, scrambling a little bit. So we said, hey, just keep pushing, keep pushing, keep pushing.
You mean you let Clixel off on the leash a little bit? That's crazy.
No, that was game 4.
That was game 4.
Yeah, even after
we tested out in game 4 to see how it go.
after one of the games, he goes, "Wait, did I really have 6 demos?"
Any final words from you, Berger, for him?
Just from N2N to N2N, good stuff, boys. Way to close it out. Can't wait to see y'all play in the semifinals once again. N2N on top. That's all I gotta say.
You guys know how I like to close things out here. Any shout outs or personal shout outs? The floor is yours.
I'll go less.
All right, I'll go. All right, I got shout out N2N, obviously. They're all the homies. We appreciate you guys letting us run under your name. I saw all the homies in chat. Blackjack, Coda. I'm sure there's others. Zippy. But and then shout out Coda actually for filling in for our warm-up scrim because Touch's PC decided to die for whatever reason.
No, it wasn't PC. I'm dealing with some personal stuff.
Curio told us it was your PC. He lied to us.
I mean, that was a good guess.
Yeah. But no. Yeah. Shout out to the Olives, Olive boys. They were our warm-up scrim. They got us nice and warm to come in and lose the first 2 games.
I told you.
Appreciate it, Solo. And hey Solo. You want to warm up scrim next week too? Because it didn't go your way this time, and I don't think it'll go your way next week.
We're getting some scrim beef. This is crazy.
Can't wait for a scrim on Friday.
It's not scrims because they are a semi-opponent.
Oh, okay. My bad.
So I get to take his marbles and knock him out?
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
we get to take his marbles and his spot in grand final.
Those are just actual shots now. I can't wait to see Solo yap it up in the chat now.
Well, congratulations, y'all. Welcome to the semifinals. We'll be seeing you guys. Don't forget, your match is at 8 p.m. on Friday. So we will see you then. And I look forward to see what you guys have in store for us as things continue to ramp up here in the Riptide Cup. So congratulations. Enjoy it. Well-deserved. And N2N Nomads taking on Olivet Gaming later this weekend. If you want to see the semifinals and finals, stick around, ladies and gentlemen. The Riptide Cup has been nothing but amazing so far. So
Shout
you
out
guys have a
Tommy.
wonderful
Shout out
night.
Burger.
Yeah.
Shout out Bumbling. Shout out my mom. Love you. Shout out my wife.
And at Solo, I know we're gonna have to
And
do
Solo.
a game series earlier, but you're gonna be second to my heart again, man.
By the way, Solo just took a screenshot for you guys. That OT wasn't 4 minutes and 30 seconds. It was 6 minutes and 57 seconds.
Jesus.
Holy crap.
My goodness, I was a whole 2 minutes off. My
No. He took a screenshot of his own.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Wait, no,
Whoa,
I remember
wait.
now. I remember now. Solo was saying that there was a longer
Solo
OT than
stays got the
theirs.
record. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bro, that was
There was
season 1 grand finals.
You know what Solo?
Bro,
don't have
why do
next
you
week,
have
though?
why do you have that
Win.
screenshot, Solo?
He's got that pocketed.
I
ready to go.
feel like he pulled it up because Tommy mentioned that it was the longest
Probably.
OT he'd ever been a part of.
Wait, no, I remember. That's the last time all of it was relevant.
Okay.
Oh, you talking about season
Oh
one?
my god.
I love you, Solo.
Oh. Solo, we'll see you in the scrim next week.
Next week, it's in 2 days.
I can't believe I fell for that.
Sorry for
Yo.
cussing.
Man, you got my cheeks hurting with that one.
All right,
Good
no, we
jobs.
appreciate you, man.
But
Yeah,
you guys
appreciate
have
you
a
guys
good
doing
one,
it.
man. We appreciate you coming out, putting on a show once again. And we will be looking forward to see you this weekend.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it.
All right,
Peace.
all right.
Later, boys.
All right, that's going to be it from us. Stick around. We are going to try to find a raid target, show some love. You know what it's all about, LSP in here. Before we do get out of here, though, we're going to get some closing words from Juicy and talk about our sponsors. Over on the one corner, we got HSG. I'm wearing their merch. You see their tapestry in the background. That's a personal, hand digitally drawn design from the one and only Thrive. Make sure to go check out HeadyScarfGangApparel.com. They're an amazing group of guys that put together MVP jerseys to the MVP from the grand finals in each and every division. And they're coming out with some new designs in that. Keep your eye out on the announcements channel. We will be showing them off once they land in possession of the MVPs from season 4. They've already been shipped and sent. We're just waiting for them to get there. And then they also do all these amazing overlays like you see here on the screen. And then our prize pool sponsors, we got Invispar, our only tier 3 sponsor, coming back once again here in season 5. And then we got GamersOn.tv, Claim Your Fame, joining us back, the OGs of sponsors since season 1. And then we have the new faces. Latin 7 came in season 5, as well as Purchase and Resell, a unique sponsorship. If you, friends, family, whoever it may be, looking at some golf clubs or golf equipment, golfing in general, especially if you're going golfing, make sure that you always go golfing, Clixel. For anybody out there that might not know that joke, there was a little inside joke there, but make sure to go check them out. Use code RLSS at checkout and get 10% off, and the proceeds help go towards raising the prize pool in RLSS. So much love to all of our sponsors that allow us to give back this season and really put a good foot forward at kind of just rewarding all the hard work that they put through and of RLSS since the beginning. Is there anything you'd like to say before we get out of here, Juicy?
I mean, once again, a game 7 in the bucket for myself and obviously you, because, you know, you're the bucket. But once again, for me being here, we get a game 7 and a beautiful cast that just comes down to one goal each and every single time. I hope I'm on one of these co-casts once again. If there's any semi-finalist casts that need a co-caster, 100% feel free to reach out to me about it.
I mean, just looking at the spreadsheet, I know that Friday Taquito needs one. And you could also message Cobra Warrior if you want. He's got a couple. He's got a Tsunami Cup semifinal and a Cyclone semifinal if you want to join.
Okay. I'll reach out to both of them then. Hopefully they'll accept me on.
We are going to raid out, though, to Cobra Warrior. So make sure to show all the love there. Spam the emotes if you got them. And let's spread some LSP, y'all. So we're going to get this raid underway. That's going to be it from us in the booth.
Push a P. I'm push a P. Push a P. I'm push a P. Yeah.
Much love, guys.
Push a P. I'm push a P. Push a P. I'm push a P.